What's happening, everybody? This is Dealer Destro back with another Transformers Generations review video. For this video, we're going to be looking at the Combiner Power of the Primes Titan class gift set Predaking. And here they are as a group shot of the Predacons in their bot mode. Heads up for this review, I'm focusing on two modes: robot mode and combine mode. Because I've looked at these things in beast mode and they're okay. Not really. I don't know that it's really worth spending an extra 10 minutes tacked onto the video to talk about that when I think people are going to be most interested in these modes. I could be wrong. Y'all could be interested in beast modes and combine mode. If so, I apologize. So getting right into this group shot of the team, and they look awesome from the front as a group. I would be proud to have this displayed on a shelf. I'm sure that goes the same for folks that are fans of the official product. So you finally have your time in the light. So we'll start off here by looking at Razor Claw, and I think he's probably my favorite figure of the set, just because I feel he's the most functional as he drops his weapon. Should be noted, the figures that have the guns that peg into their hands, the guns do have a tendency to want to fall out. And here's what I mean by that. Oh, of course, now that we're rolling camera, you want to cooperate. But yeah, see, I barely tapped on that thing. The top, these are just, I just think they're not toleranced well for the hands that the figures have. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. It's for the whole set. So, the articulation for the head, you can get some back and forth movement, good side to side. The arms rotate, and they're not hindered at all by his mane here. You've got a fully functional elbow joint. These flaps lift up so you can get full forward range on the legs. He's got somewhat functioning knee joints. That's as far of a bend as you're going to get, but you still can you can still achieve some pretty cool poses with the figure. So it should be noted that it has ankle articulation in the robot mode. So all in all, I think he's a rock solid figure. Again, he's my favorite, I think, of the bunch, and I think he's one of the most functional, more functional, I should say. And that's what he looks like from the rear. Flap test, flop test, no flapping, no flopping, and there's a joke in there somewhere, guys. So yeah, so that's what it looks like. Whoever's on point for these head sculpts is doing a fantastic job. Absolutely nailed it. So, should be noted, I don't have the decals applied, and we'll look at what else comes in the box here in just a sec. Again, he has this accessory. It's okay. It's pretty cool. It's got some good sculpting work. Just there's no paint apps applied, so I think some gunmetal gray would have done this a lot of justice. But that's just me. So we'll get him out of frame, and we'll move to the next figure. So this is the cougar, the cat. There's a joke in there somewhere. I want to say his name is Rampage, and he also is a great figure in the set. There's the head sculpt. That's what it looks like. Again, fantastic job. This figure, he does have. Well, I guess we should have talked about that, right? Like, so the paint apps where they're applied are pretty good on this figure. This is great. This is great. All these painted details are awesome. For some reason, they painted the bottom of his feet. I'm not sure why. And then I also apologize. I should have noted that if you apply enough pressure, you can reveal the Beast Matrix, or whatever this thing is. And this thing has Onyx Prime, just like it says on the box. So there it is. He's got some paint on his face. He's got paint on his back. All in all, good figure. Pretty unremarkable because he is just as, you know, any other Titan Master, except he just happens to reside in Razor Claw's chest. Interesting enough, too, the Matrix actually fills out the head of the lion. It's interesting because if you pop this out and take the Matrix out and try to close it, you will have gaps here. So probably should have known that sooner. I apologize. Back to this guy. So the paint on him looks great too. You see he's got good paint applications on the eyes, the nose, the gold bits where they are applied look amazing. So that's what he looks like from the side. This is what he looks like from the back. And this thing, I'm not even gonna lie, this thing is somewhat obnoxious to me anyway. Now when you have him stood up and you're looking at him from the front, you really won't notice it. But as you move the figure to the side, it becomes more apparent. It's just one of those things. This gimmick on these robots kind of drive me nuts. But, you know, to each his own. Some of y'all may find that acceptable, because I know it's all frowned upon in the community if a figure has the parts for him. You know, heaven forbid that. I almost would have rather them done that than put these obnoxious backpacks on these guys. I think it detracts from the aesthetic of the figure, but that's just me. And then again, he comes with a pretty sizable blaster. That's what it looks like. Again, good sculpt work, good line work on there, but it is just cast in black. He also has the problem where his gun just likes to randomly fall out of his hand as you're manipulating it, but now that I'm rolling camera, I guess we'll give him a pass. Gold on the shoulders there, and what I will say that wherever the paint applications where the figures have it, like you see here on the shin, where they have the paint applications, they are done. This is some of the best paint apps I've seen from the main line. Just my 2 cents. So here we have Dive Bomb moving on. He's got his double blasters. Again, the head sculpt, remarkable. Absolutely fantastic. The yellow paint on the chest, I must say, is very cleanly applied. Yellow is one of those colors that it's just difficult to work with. Same with red, same with orange. Those are the three colors I dread working with when I'm doing custom work. But these guys just nailed it as far as the paint application goes. So there's the blasters. That's what those look like. These become the shoulder cannons. So comes with another one. It's the exact same sculpt. You will have to put them together. For whatever reason, they come disassembled in the package, but that's what they look like. I'll set those off to the side. Should be noted, his backpack does detach. And then, in my opinion, without the backpack, I think you get more out of him. That's just me though, as far as articulation and whatnot. This thing has some weight to it. And what this thing is you're looking at, this is the wings for him in beast mode, and then what it also is the what essentially forms Predaking. So what you're seeing here is the legs peg in, and then this folds up like so, like that, and this is where Razor Claw sits. The legs sit here, and then the arms slide on to Razor Claw, and then these fold up to secure. So it's sort of like a harness, like a combining harness, but it serves as the backpack when it is not being leveraged in combine mode. So, and that's what it looks like. A good Decep emblem tampoed on there. This is not paint. This is cast plastic. This red paint is applied nice. The gold, I mean, just they showed this guy a lot of love, and you can tell that this group that owns Transformers now, they're clearly catering to an older group. Clearly, I know it says ages 8 up on the box, but let's just be real. This is for a subset of the fan base that are now grown men. So, and then we make videos talking about it. So the eyes, paint on the eyes looks good. Paint on the face looks excellent. Paint on the robot eyes is excellent. The gold paint on the legs, excellent as well. So as far as articulation, he can, he's got knee joints. They work. They're functional. He's got ankle movement. The arms work fine. They're on ball hinges, just as you would expect. These are friction toleranced. I don't feel any sort of ratcheting component in there. And it works. It works. So I like him. I think these are good figures. Standalone. Standalone, the team would look good on a shelf either in bot mode or combined mode, and if beast mode's your thing, more power to you. But that's what he looks like. That's what he looks like from the side. That's what he looks like from the back. Cleans up pretty good because of the backpack either way. Again, I just think it's a slightly more functional figure without the backpack, but that's just my 2 cents on it. So, and then we'll get Rampage in here too. Oh, should have mentioned, he also has slight bit of ankle articulation, not as much. Oh, I guess he does. Never mind. Disregard what I just said. So he's got good ankle articulation, good leg articulation, good arm articulation. So you can get some pretty cool poses out of this guy. Now, moving on to the last two figures, and this is where I have most of my issues, and it's unfortunate because these are, I always thought these were two of the cooler characters from the set. So we'll start out with Headstrong. His loadout is pretty interesting. So instead of a gun or a sword, you get Predaking's foot, and it acts as like this shoulder harness missile launcher. Should be noted the fist stores underneath here. And of course, there we go. And you just, reach into one of these hollow bits, pull it out, comes out, no problem. So that's his gun. So these guys are now bazooka missile launcher wielding guys. Yep. They're the taller two out of the bunch, and you'll see why here in a moment. But all in all, great paint. The DCEP emblem is applied very clean. The head sculpt, once again, they are knocking it out of the park, in my opinion. And that's yellow paint over red, boys, ladies and gentlemen. That is yellow paint over red with the gold visor, and that looks fantastic. Yellow eyes on the rhinoceros head are also done very well. Again, the paint where it's applied on these guys is fantastic. So I don't know how this is coming through on the camera. It should be noted these two reds are slightly mismatched. This is cast plastic. This is red paint over black, over a black piece. Same thing for here on this side. And then looking here, this black paint over yellow, done very well. This red paint over yellow, done extremely well. Again, the black paint here. This set, they pulled out some stops. This is all paint, should be noted. And it's red over black. So this whole piece was black. They painted the red on, and it looks amazing. Red is one of those colors that just I dread working with. Now, let's talk about this guy. So his arm articulation, it's great. Fantastic. You can get whatever you want out of it. The legs, they're okay too. The legs are actually functional on this guy. So you can get, you know what I mean, whatever pose you want. For me, and he's heavy, and there's a reason that he's heavy. The reason that he is heavy is because he has built into him Predaking's leg and upper thigh. And for me, this it just doesn't look right. Doesn't look right. It essentially makes these guys bricks. Like, he is a brick. Yes, he has weight on him, but most of his weight is coming from having to be the beast of burden for a leg and an upper thigh component, which is just, it's weird to me. I almost would have rather them have flushed out the back of this figure, maybe cleaned it up a little bit better, and made that parts forming. And I know, shame on me for that, but I mean, there has to be some give, right? Like, I know that as a fan base, there are some people in the community that know it absolutely must incorporate all components of what it is trying to do. And when that happens, you get stuff like that. And to me, it just doesn't look right. Now, from the front, he's a great looking figure. For a mainline figure, he is a fantastic looking figure. I like that. So these slots right here, there's tabs built into these guys so that you can just slide them in right here, extend the arm out like so, and then it looks like he is shouldering a missile launcher, a dual missile launcher, I should say. So that's this guy, which will make talking about him quicker as well. He is essentially the same figure, however, but there are subtle differences between the two. It's not like they just said, we'll take Headstrong's mode and use it for Tantrum. And it should be noted that for this outing, they had to label him Torox for some weird reason. Maybe it's a licensing thing or something. So if you look at the chest, you'll see that he has, different chest. There's different things here, like he's got these vents or this metal working here. Like, I like that they just didn't do a 1-for-1 because they easily could have and could have copped out and done that. And I'm glad that they didn't. I'm really glad. Even the side pieces here are different with the paint apps and everything else too. So the fact that they were generous enough to do that, even the shin pieces, are different on these guys. So that's a big kudos to them. The feet are even different too, now that I look at them. So kudos to them for just not rehashing, this guy, or I should say these two. So head sculpt, you've got yellow paint, gold visor, and again, phenomenal. You've got silver paint here, Decepticon emblem template on there. You've got silver paint all along the side here. Silver paint over black, which is done very well. Very, very well, actually. You've got yellow paint on the side. Yellow paint on the sides here. And again, it looks phenomenal. Anyway, so that silver paint, black paint, same thing on this side. You've got silver paint, you've got black paint. And it looks good, ladies and gentlemen. As a figure from the front, like his brethren, he looks great. The minute you turn him to the side, things start to fall apart and fast. So I don't even know if this is right or not. Yeesh. I'm guessing it is. I don't know. I don't even know because it doesn't even matter because I'm not gonna. You're never gonna look at him from that side because it just looks. It's not pretty. The baby's ugly, ladies and gentlemen. The baby is ugly. From this side. So again, these two guys, I think there was definitely some opportunity. By the way, he has the same articulation as his brethren. You can get whatever out of the arms. They're on ball joints. Yada yada yada. The leg comes out, the knee works great. Same thing for both sides. But I think that these guys are it's where the most opportunity lies. And again, it's because they have to incorporate those combining pieces. But all in all, as figures, looking at them, if you were to look at them just from here, not a problem. If I saw that standing on a shelf with the rest of the brethren, not a problem. Not a problem at all. And granted, they're kind of drowned out, but if it was like, if he was standing there with his buddy and then he had his buddy like right there and then the boss man, in the middle, shift manager in the middle. That looks good. Like, it looks good. I do have a problem in combined mode and we'll talk about it. I'll even showcase it. A lot of the videos, I should say, that I watched didn't touch on this. So I'm going to, because full disclosure, people, this thing is not cheap. It is not cheap at all. So that's it for robot mode. We'll be back to talk about combined mode and then final thoughts, and we'll take it from there. Oh wait, before I do that, I almost forgot one thing, and shame on me for doing this. So you get in the box a nice instruction sheet. Oh, look at that! Look at that! And it tells you how to take all these guys from their respective modes to ultimately form the big guy, the head honcho. So good instructions. I like the way that that's presented. It's probably some of the better instructions I've seen. You get this chromed out, blinged out decal sheet. I'm probably going to opt for repro labels. Because for me, right, it's something we should discuss. You see that, how that's tampoed on there and it looks great? Well, the rest of the gang is going to have these blinged out DCEP insignias. You can see there's one for a slot there. I want to say he's got a slot, or he's got a place right here for his shoulder. And for me, it's like a consistency thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just as nostalgic as anyone else when it comes to putting these on. But I would like to see them maybe go flat, like a matte decal, like we had back in the day. Granted, some of them were shiny, but you get what I'm saying. Just for consistency. Just for consistency. So it looks like he's got upwards of 60, 79, 80 stickers is the highest. 87 is the highest number I'm seeing. There's probably more, but 87 is the highest number. So that's a project. That's a full evening sitting down with these guys, because you got I'm sure there's stickers that you got to put on here. Then you got to convert them to their alt modes, put on some more stickers, and maybe there's even some in Predaking mode. The cool thing is they gave you this pretty, really pretty poster that has the box art on it. And yeah, so he does not come with a card. Just like, well, I think Fortress Maximus actually came with a card and a poster, but that's neither here nor there. Maybe the SDCC one came with a poster and the Hasbro one came with a card. I don't recall offhand. Anyway, but that's what you can expect to get in the box is this set of figures. And again, they look good. Don't get me wrong. They look, from the front, they look good. Some of them have opportunities. These three here in particular. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And again, at what they're hitting for, at what this set is hitting for, we're over the $150 mark, ladies and gentlemen. So that's a decision, right? So we'll come back and we'll talk about combine mode and we'll wrap this up. All right, so we're doing things a little different here. This is the combine mode for Predaking. And as you can see, let's see how close my camera lets me get in here. The head sculpting and detailing on this figure is pretty remarkable. Notice the gold paint on the lion's mane, the red eyes, the gold accent on the nose. Zooming out, zooming back in. On the forearm there, he's got his gun. The fists. Same thing for Rampage there. You got the nice gold paint apps that bring out the detail there. You've got the Tampo DCEP logo. So really, let's zoom in close there as well. Hopefully that's showing through good on the camera. The yellow on black is phenomenal. The silver paint apps look great. Moving down the figure, the legs, the way that the legs sort of break up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. We'll come in for a side view. So see how the yellow, the black, the red, and the Tampo DCEP logos just break that up. Same thing on this side, the silver, the black, the red-orange, I guess. Really, really remarkable figure. Now, I'm going to put this back down, and I apologize. My review station just isn't... It's not meant to accommodate figures of this size, unfortunately. But one thing that a lot of people that have done reviews already, and this isn't a knock or a call out against anyone, hasn't showcased, and I call this, we call this the skull face shuffle at my house, because this really shows you how well toleranced these joints are or aren't. The leg joints are toleranced pretty good. It's the arm joints on this thing that are in desperate need of something. So, and that's what I'm talking about there. He won't hold a dynamic pose for anything. There have been some people that have lucked out, and their joints are like the ones on this guy here. But even still, gravity, or if you put the slightest amount of pressure, gravity will eventually take its toll, which is unfortunate because this is really a stellar set in my opinion. I think it's a trend with these Hasbro combiners, right? Like they nail everything except for like that one thing. And for size comparison, there's a deluxe combiner, Abominus, which I think is probably the best one we've had so far still to this day as far as the deluxe combiners go. So you see here how he towers over his brethren in the same manner that Devastator does. So that's cool. The size is cool. He is a presence on a shelf. He will have a presence on a shelf. And then it should even be noted here too, the side view, he's even got some girth from the side. So all in all, I'll just get him out of the frame here because I want to show you guys the back of this thing. So the back cleans up very well on this figure. I have not applied the decals yet. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's been crazy. Life's been a little crazy as of late, but it's all been good stuff. So I won't bore you out with that. But so that's what Predaking looks like. I think ultimately you're gonna have to make a decision on if you like this set. Is it worth it? Because the price point, ladies and gentlemen, it is hefty. We're pushing over the $150 mark for these sets. So, but there's a lot here. There's a lot that's missing. Notice he doesn't have his sword, his trademarked sword, nor do any of the individual figures come with their swords, their individual swords. So, I mean, all in all, me personally, there's a fix that a guy in one of the Facebook groups recommended. I'm going to try it, and we'll see how it pans out. But all in all, I think it's a cool set. It definitely nails the aesthetics of the character. One thing to note too, however, he does have a wrist swivel, by the way, but I think they had planned for spiked knuckles. They just didn't go through with it for some reason. So, I mean, that's the only other thing. So, in combine mode, the arm joints are pretty much useless. I got lucky here with this guy. So, 50-50 shot, individual results may or may not vary. I can't tell you. I can just speak to mine, and it's a bummer. It really is. I had high hopes for this thing. Outside of the fact that his shoulder joints are useless, no spike knuckles, no sword. So, you know, you're going to have to make a decision. Hopefully this video helps you some with that so you can see, you know, exactly what you're getting yourself into. So, hope you guys found this informative. Hope you like it. If you do, please subscribe. Till next time, take care. We'll catch you on the flip side in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.